this before, and they had the Bowmansville thing last weekend.
Yes, I know.
I was over there taking some pictures.
Yeah,
I had a poster this time.
I was thinking about coming down, and I wasn't too keen on the weather.
But there were a lot of cars there. There was even cars there from like 2006, and there was a 2014 Porsche. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, just cars that coming close to being plastic.
You see here is a lot of new Corvettes, Camaros, new Camaros, new Mustangs, that type of thing. Yeah, yeah.
So tell me a little bit about this car show here in the center of Lititz, historic Lititz.
Okay. Basically, I'm not sure quite yet how many years it's been going on. I know we've been attending 12, 15 years, and it's every August, second Wednesday of the month, and I think they bring in around 200 cars, 250 cars, and they come from all over. Since we're local, 2 miles away, of course it's nice for us to get them out of the garage and bring them out here and give us a good chance, because these old Betsies aren't too roadable, you know, if you want to go to too many shows.
Daily drivers.
Not really daily drivers, no.
How many cars do you have here tonight?
We have 4, and a friend of ours who has my old car that I bought new in '63, he has that. Of course, he's had it longer than I have it now, but we're back and forth all the time. I told him I'm not going to like him until he sells me the car back. But anyhow, he's here with us, and we usually have 5 or 6 here. And there's, I guess, 2 other nephews that usually come to this also and bring their cars. But for whatever reason tonight they're not here. Yeah. So
before you said you had 18 restored Studebakers. Does that mean you have some that aren't restored? Like,
yes, there's a couple that are not restored, and they're in the process. So they're not just sitting there. My nephew's son just brought a truck home from Michigan, and he is planning on restoring a toter, which is a trailer toter, what Studebaker altered in Indiana to haul house trailers, because back in that day, Indiana had a ton of businesses making house trailers, and so they altered certain tractors to tow house trailers, and it's a snub nose and a chopped off rear end. The drive shaft and they can be extended out, so when they're not toting a trailer, it's a regular chassis length to the truck. And of course, when they move the back wheels in, it's back underneath the back of the cab, and that was all because of the overall length regulations by DOT out there, Department of Transportation.
So they had to cut a little fender well in the back.
Cut a little, right? Yep, just to make way for the fender, and then they had 2 different drive shafts that they took along, so they'd have to change a drive shaft when they extended the rear wheels to drive the tractor home. So he's in the process of restoring one of those. We had the truck, and now he's got some other components that we're going to make it, or he's going to make it, just like they were back then. So, yeah, quite unusual. There's a few around, but you just don't see them. Lions Club sponsors it. Of course, they have a lot of different charities that they contribute to, and that's pretty much where it all goes to. Yeah. And of course it draws all the Lititz. And if you grew up in Lititz, I mean, you see everybody that you haven't seen for the last 50 years or so. But so there's always new faces that you didn't see the year before, that you remember from high school or what have you. You know, it's always a cool meet to come to. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So is there anything else you want to say?
No, fortunately, seems to be blessed every year with a decent, a decent weather pattern for us. course, this past couple of weeks, as you well know, the rain that we had was subject to how nice it was going to be tonight. So
that one morning, Monday morning, we had 5.5 inches of rain in 2 hours.
Yeah. We had like 3 inches, and then the Friday before, he had 5 inches. My brother had 5 inches. Yeah. So fortunately, it's nice tonight. Yep.
'63 Studebaker Lark Daytona. For '63, the Daytona, they were pretty much all hard tops. It's a V8 automatic. It's not really as high performance as it looks compared to some other ones. 259, 4-barrel dual exhaust. I bought it when I was 19 years old. It was my first Studebaker. I bought it basically because of watching drag racing, and this red one on my shirt it's basically the same model as that, and that was the draw for this car for me in the color and in the 2-door hardtop. I have a '63 3/4 ton Champ that was my great uncle's, and he ended up going to a home, and I bought it and restored it, and that's at home here because I can only drive one at a time. So. And I have another project in the garage. It's a telescoping frame trailer toter. So I'm out of garage space. That's the moral of the story.
So all the Studebakers you have, they're all spread out in different garages?
No, they're all at home, but I'm at the limit now.
But your uncle?
Oh, with the yeah, everyone has a garage at home with at least 1 or 2 Studebakers in it. Yeah, that's how we. Yeah. This is probably I've gone off and on to them now since I got the car. This is probably the 5th one I've been to. usually weather pending if we're going to come out or not. But yeah, it's Lititz Lines puts it on. They shut down the street, and if the weather's good, there's always a good turnout here. So ready to leave here one night, the car was running, and a guy asked me, "So what engine's in that?" I said, "A 259 Studebaker." "So a 6-cylinder." And I said, "No, it's a V8." But later on, I learned that Jeep had a 258 inline 6, so maybe that's what he was thinking, where he got the 6-cylinder from. But it's definitely not a 6-cylinder.
Mechanically, these cars were pretty good running cars, weren't they?
Yeah. Mechanically, I haven't put anything into this over the years. I mean, fuel lines, little stuff, but as far as into the engine internals, it only has about 57,000 miles on. So it's
Since it was restored or original?
Original. It's, as far as I know, that's what's on the odometer. And it has the trunk rust, but that was repaired. Originally, this car was bought new. A guy bought it for his mother in Connecticut, and another younger guy bought it later in Maryland. Then a muscle car dealer bought it in South Bend, just below South Bend, Indiana. He had it shipped from Maryland, and he had it for a while, and then I bought it and we hauled it home back to here. So it's been around, but yeah.
How often do you drive it?
Not often enough. Maybe 100 miles a year.
Really?
It should be more, but
Just a little bit around town.
Yeah.
You don't want to put a lot of miles on it.
well, I just don't. Yeah, it's either low on gas or I just don't. Yeah, that's the biggest shame, is especially having multiple cars. I don't drive any of them very much, but yeah, it's.
But you have a chance to bring them out and show them. That's kind of a neat thing.
Yeah, especially when we all get together. That makes it more of a family thing for us all to come out.
So tell me about your Saturday morning get-togethers.
Every Saturday since I can remember. I went across the street when I grew up, across the street from my grandparents. Now I moved, I have to drive, but we go at 8:30 for coffee and homemade sticky buns. Or when I was younger, I got Ovaltine, but that's just a family tradition where we sit and catch up for the week. And it's not always talking about Studebakers, but usually there's at least a mention of something that someone's working on. So.